It's a pleasure having you join us on News Now on TV360 Nigeria. I am Annetta Felix. The Nigerian Army has issued a strong warning to alleged Boko Haram collaborators. The spokesman of the military's Northeast operation, Colonel Onyema Nwachukwu, is warning that the military will clamp down on any civilian who hides the insurgents or fails to report their movement. The military says it has credible information that Boko Haram are moving into communities to indoctrinate, recruit fresh members, and ask others to vacate their homes. Colonel Nwachukwu is warning citizens, especially those within Maiduguri metropolis and its environs, to promptly report the presence of suspicious persons. The military's warning comes hours after the United Nations announced it has withdrawn 268 workers from 3 local government areas in Borno State, citing a lack of security. The affected areas are Mungono, Kalabauge, and Kukawa. In a statement, the United Nations office in Nigeria expressed concern about the upsurge in Boko Haram attacks in the northeast. It also says more than 30,000 people had arrived in Maiduguri from Baga following the Boko Haram's attack on the town. The international body also warns that the attacks are affecting its humanitarian service delivery in the troubled region. And in Plateau, the State Police Command has declared 13 more suspects wanted in connection with the death of a former Army Chief of Administration, General Muhammad Alkali. Alkali was murdered on his way from Abuja last September, and his corpse discovered in an abandoned well in Jos South local government area of Plateau State. The police had earlier declared 8 persons wanted, including the village head of Duradu district in the Jos South LGA, Yakubu Rap. Now, those suspects are currently standing trial at the Jos High Court in connection with the killing after they willingly submitted themselves to the police. And a train coming from Ijoko, Ogun State, has derailed at Mangoro Agege area of Lagos. No deaths were recorded as emergency officials were quick to the scene to prevent further damages. Adeshawa Odushoga was there and now reports.
This is Mangoro area of Lagos, where a train has just fallen off the track. The train usually leaves Ijoko area of Lagos as early as 7:15 a.m. to Ido, its final destination. The train derailed some minutes past the hour of 7 o'clock. Unfortunately, no one was injured or hurt in the incident. It is, however, a sad experience for some of the commuters, and one of them narrates his ordeal.
This morning we are coming, I was at the station. We heard that the first train get accident at Agege. We should not know what is cause of it. Reaching there, before they were able to carry, they stopped paying ticket. Later, they said, okay, we should go. We carry on reach Agege here, and we stop.
Some eyewitnesses who reside close to the scene narrate how the accident occurred. And
sitting down outside, so you train, the hair just passed first. So it is only those 3 like that. So the one that just remained now, he just jump. So as he jump like that, the one that is in the middle that is, you can see, fell, and we just rush and go there, and people that are inside just come outside. As he just fell, the train stopped. It was not in the speed like that, it was going slowly. So nobody get injured, they just drop the night out, bring people like that inside, bring them outside. So nobody is injured.
Train fall down. So we thank God that nobody injured or you die. We thank God. And actually what has happened, everybody they are beginning to come.
Officials of the Lagos State Emergency Management Agency, LASEMA, and the Nigerian Red Cross are some of the first respondents to the scene. They say the incident has been managed and also give tips to avoid future occurrences.
We received the information from our national headquarters early this morning. I think they have a relationship with LASEMA, so they called our head office and they quickly called on Lagos State branch, and we responded immediately.
So it is important that we fix the rail system like this government is doing. It is equally important that as part of that fixing, the tracks must be completely checked and ensure that it is safe for train to fly on them. For us, We will respond to emergency, but something that are avoidable, all of us must be prepared to play our own part and then ensure that this is avoided in future.
There are still some speculations on what caused the accident. An official of the Nigerian Railway Corporation, Niyali, explains the reasons and what his team are doing to curtail it.
Fortunately, we didn't have any fatalities. We've started the recovery operation immediately. As you can see, we are in the process of recovering the coaches. The important thing is we've tried to make sure it's a safe and controlled operation. And we're going to continue and make sure this site is safe. Unfortunately, there's an impact on the traffic, as you can see, because it happened at a level crossing over there. And at the same time, we're trying to recover the level crossing. So that's the situation on ground as we speak. No, there's nothing like that. We're carrying out a full investigation into what actually caused it. The safety team are here with me. We're looking at it at the moment. I really can't say exactly what caused it at this point in time, but it's looking like there was a derailment on the level crossing. So I think the issue really is where the track crosses the road, sorry. There seems to have been an issue there this morning, which is what we're trying to recover.
Lifted the damaged trains off the rail tracks to avoid TV360 Nigeria.
In politics, President Muhammadu Buhari has chaired the inaugural meeting of the Presidential Campaign Council of the governing All Progressives Congress. The council was inaugurated Monday by Buhari at the International Conference Center, Abuja, and their first meeting held at the Conference Hall of State House Presidential Villa, Abuja. It was attended by almost all members, including the national chairman of the APC, Adams Oshomole.
Our agenda for this meeting is to consider and approve the structure and operational modalities of the Presidential Campaign Council, the terms of reference of your various directorates, and the organogram that will determine how you will relate with each other and how you will eventually discharge your responsibilities in the campaign. I trust this will ensure a smooth campaign and a resounding victory for our party and its candidates. I therefore urge you to carefully read the documents and make observations designed to improve our performance. Members, once again, for entrusting me with the responsibility of leading our campaign for second time. First, I would like to appeal to you to dedicate and commit yourself once again to the task at hand. There is no doubt that victory is with us. It is ours. But that shouldn't mean we should rest even for a moment. Second, even though we are confident of winning, I urge you to work as hard as you can so that we can maximize the scale and extent of our victory. I urge you to rise to the challenge of the great expectations this party and Nigerians have for you and the confidence that I personally have in the ability of all of you to deliver.
Meanwhile, thousands of women have taken to the streets in Abuja to declare their support for President Muhammadu Buhari. The women from different parts of the country say some of them came with their relatives as a sign of appreciation to the government for fulfilling its promises. The rally, which was tagged Advocacy Crusade March for Buhari, took off from the Unity Fountain in Abuja through major roads in the central area and terminated at the Presidential Villa Gate, where the women read their letter to the president. The women say they have been empowered in the last 3 years by different policies of the government.
The 5,000 Families for Buhari 2019 group, as stated earlier, is drawn across Nigeria. It is not subject to regional, religious, ethnic biases or persuasions, but women, and especially the youth of this country, who are united by a common agenda and target. We are going Concerned about the future and progress of Nigeria, as well as the prosperity of our children, even the children yet unborn. It explains why we are staging this peaceful family march and solidarity rally from AYA roundabout as Asokoro to the presidential villa in Abuja. We are concerned about the future and progress of Nigeria, as well as the prosperity. Therefore, it is to appeal and drum support for the re-election of our credible, competent, God-fearing, and straightforward leader, President Buhari.
Baba has done tremendously well. That is why we, the APC members, decided to carry out this 5,000 family march for Baba to say thank you, that he should continue, that we are behind him, we are supporting him, that the women are really happy with what he has been doing in this country, Nigeria. Baba has fought corruption. It is not easy for corruption to be fought or to be tackled in this country.
Still on the elections, the Apex Igbo Social Cultural Organization, Ohaneze Indigbo, has denied endorsing Atiku Abubakar, presidential candidate of the People's Democratic Party, PDP. Chuks Igwebu, Deputy National Publicity Secretary of the organization, issued the denial while speaking at a press conference in Enugu on Thursday. Igwebu said the clarification became necessary following misconceptions over the event of November 18, where some Igbo leaders endorsed Abubakar for president. The leaders were said to have endorsed the PDP presidential candidate after he met with them, but the spokesman says the endorsement was done by the Friends of Atiku, noting that the organization has not endorsed any particular candidate. The Nigerian government has approved different policies, including the setting up of 4 private universities and an installation of pipelines. The approvals were given at a cabinet meeting at the Aso Villa, and Oyin Adekunle has more.
The meeting begins shortly after President Muhammadu Buhari completes the inauguration of the committee to review the new 30,000 naira minimum wage demand. After some brief deliberations, some selected ministers take turn to address the press on the agreements reached by the cabinet. The biggest news comes from the Minister of Education, who announces that the cabinet has approved the establishment of 4 new private universities.
They are Greenfield University at Kasarami in Kaduna State, Dominion University in Ibadan, Oyo State, Trinity University in Laloko in Ogun State, and Westland University in Iwo, Osun State. All the 4 have satisfied the criterion for the establishment of universities. They have submitted their academic briefs, their master plan, and evidence of facilities after visitations by NUC. They have satisfied all the requirements and they have been granted licenses.
The Minister of State for Petroleum also reveals another big announcement. Ibe Kachiku says the cabinet has approved $3.7 billion for the construction and installation for Okpo flexible pipelines in OML 119 and Escravos to Lagos gas pipeline.
An EPCI contract, which is engineering, procurement, construction and installation contract for the 12-inch by 6-inch Okono flexible pipelines in OML 119, which was awarded to Mrs. National Oil Vaco Completion and Mekot Nigeria, is a consortium of 2 companies. Total contract sum was for $3.7 billion and roughly about $37 million. The essence of this was that in 2014, the pipeline with which we were evacuating crude in that area gave way, and so production became very marginal. We were producing an average of about 20,000 barrels a day as opposed to the capacity of between 37 and 40,000 barrels. And this contract was therefore to replace that pipeline with a flexible, new technology flexible pipeline that will resist corrosion.
The Minister of Power Works and Housing is up next. Babatunde Fashola says the cabinet has approved a national public building maintenance policy and framework.
We talked about a lack of maintenance culture in this country. There is nothing like a maintenance culture. It's actually a maintenance economy that we have never consciously developed. Council has approved that framework today that would release the maintenance economy of this country. We have trained artisans at many levels, but we haven't created an economy for them to go and express themselves. Tilers, bricklayers, plumbers, hands-on landscapers, gardeners, plumbers, fitters. So when they leave training school, what do? They go and ride tricycle where there was no training school. But it's because there's an economy in tricycle. This is the answer.
The Minister of State for Aviation also addresses the briefing. Hadi Sirika says the meeting approved a contract for the procurement of the second phase of the controller pilot data link communication.
Within the Kano Flight Information Region, we have Abuja Airport and Lagos. And these are the airports that would benefit from that within the Kano Flight Information Region. And the total contract sum is $5,403,271 United States dollars, which is equivalent to Naira 1,652,320,271 and 80 kobo. This is exclusive of 5% VAT. And the agency that is responsible for this is NAMA, Nigerian Airspace Management Agency, which is under our ministry. This basically will improve communication by digital means between the pilot and the controller. It will improve efficiency, make decision making faster, and then make departures and arrival seamless and also faster as against the usual analog.
The council also approved the first contract of over 812.5 million naira for the demarcation of specific areas of land to be affected by the actual construction of the Mambila hydropower project. The contract involves 9 land surveying companies and is expected to eventually lead to enumeration and resettlement. Uyi Adekunle, TV360 Nigeria.
Barely 24 hours after President Muhammadu Buhari inaugurated the Technical Advisory Committee on the implementation of the new minimum wage, the Nigerian Labour Congress have reacted to this development. The National Vice President of the NLC, Amechi Asugoni, in an interview with our correspondent, says he is satisfied with the decision of the President, but is warning that the activities of the committee should not affect implementation of the bill.
The committee function on this issue of minimum wage has nothing to do with the processes of getting minimum wage into enactment. What we believe Mr. President should be doing as a matter of tomorrow, because the commitment they have taken last now to transmit the document to National Assembly on or before 23rd of January 2019, that already supersedes the activities of this committee. So this committee has no interference to this journey of this document. And so we see that even at the end of it, every state may have to set up similar committee, or should have done that, even in private sector. Don't forget, we are all talking about the financial position of government and all the rest. What about the private sector? Who decides for them? Who set up their own committee? Everybody is entitled to check, to actually take steps that will help in enhancing the implementation, including private sector. So what Mr. President has done, we expect all governors to do the same. But do them quick. Don't wait until the time for implementation before you ask yourself where to get money. That is appalling. Those are the challenges we have. When they are reactive, it's a problem to this country. From top to down, no one is proactive. You can imagine a committee being celebrated at the eve of late submission of a report. We are talking about setting up a committee to advise you on how to pay a wage that has been agreed upon. So it's okay. You can't give what you don't have, but that is the best they can give at this time. Let them advise him, but let the document go to the...
You're still watching News Now on TV360 Nigeria. We'll be right back.
In the last 3 years, we have built a multi-purpose center, which is the envy of all in our constituency. And I can tell you that the people who are living there are already enjoying it.
Guy, do you think what this man just said is true? See, I seriously doubt. I'm sure it's one of those their silly lies.
Wait. Do you know there's a way to find out if these things he's saying is true or not? This is the Construct app. It gives people like us a sure way to track implementation of constituency projects. It gives valid and verified information on location of projects, amounts allocated, amount funded, the level of job done, and even the profiles of concerned legislators. You and I can post directly on this app.
Are you serious?
This is the go-to app if you want to know how our Commonwealth is being expanded by the government.
Wow. Let's even see if what this man said is true. Show me.
The Construct app is developed by Other Paper Nigeria with support from USAID and is available on both Google Play Store and Apple Store.
And it's true.
Of course, I told you.
You're welcome back, and we have with us Fidelia Aguncha, who's joining us for the latest in business. Hello, Fidelia.
Hi, Aneta.
So what do you have for us today?
Well, the Central Bank of Nigeria plans to raise a total of 1.809 trillion naira from the debt market in the first quarter of 2019. Data contained in the Nigerian Treasury Bill Issue Program for the first quarter of 2019 shows that the Apex Bank will raise 823.43 billion naira from rollover programs with a maturity period ranging from 1 to 3 years. According to the document, 91-day bills worth 51.46 billion naira will be rolled over together with 182-day bills worth 164.92 billion and 364-day bills worth 607.05 billion naira. The Apex Bank also said that 985.93 billion naira worth of treasury bills would mature during the same period. The Lagos Inland Revenue Service has directed employers to deduct capital gain tax from any sum paid to employees on termination of their services. A notice released by the tax agency says such compensations are subject to taxation in Section 6A of the Capital Gains Tax. According to the notice, which was signed by LIRS Chairman Ayodele Swiber, the compensation will be exempted from pay as you earn if the sum was not agreed on before the disengagement process began. However, the same will be subject to capital gain tax, which is 10% of the amount. Meanwhile, global oil prices fell by about 1% on Thursday on swelling U.S. supply and amid a cautious reaction to trade talks between U.S. and China. U.S. crude oil futures are at $51.80 a barrel, while international Brent crude futures are at $60.87 a barrel. Both oil benchmark rose by around 5% and the previous day as financial markets around the world surged on the hopes that Washington and Beijing may soon be able to end their trade dispute. By Thursday, however, the positive feelings faded because of a lack of detail on the talks, despite a warm statement from China on the outcome. Well, let's now look at activities on the stock market after this. Well, after 6 days in the negative territory, the NSE recorded its first gain for 2019, with key market indicators appreciating by 0.62% following the exchange of close to 400 million shares in 3,677 deals. Well, this uptrend gave the all-share index right here a boost of 181 points to close at 29,517 basis points, while the value of the market bounced back to the 11 trillion threshold. Well, one would have thought the streak of losses would continue after the World Bank predicted that there will be little improvement in poverty reduction for 2019. But I guess investor sentiments were buoyed by the growing value of the naira and increased oil production in the country. Meanwhile, the market breadth closed positive with 21 gainers and 16 losers. And topping the pack of gainers is Nigeria's leading construction company, Julius Berger, whose value has been appreciating since the start of trading this year, despite a 71 billion naira drop in budget allocation for road construction. It was also a good day for Forte Oil and Guarantee Trust Bank, who are both recovering from losses seen yesterday, and Dangote Cement also made the gainers chart, recovering from previous losses recorded earlier this week. And to the flip side, that is the losers chart right here. We can see that the most prized equity in the market, which is Nestle, is declining by a massive 48 naira. It is followed closely by Guinness, which lost 7 naira, and a 1.7 naira drop in value saw Okumu Oil close a spot on the losers chart. Well, the financial service industry actually makes up more than 40% of the total number of value of shares traded today, hence dominating the traders chart. And on the global level, we can see that the Nikkei is falling, and now it is falling to a 6-week low as Japan's economy contract and a sharp sell-off on Wall Street depressed sentiment. The Dow, however, managed to escape the negative territory despite the dollar falling to a 3-month low. And the FTSE right here is also gaining to 0.52%. And this is despite falls in oil prices. Well, that's been a look of activities on the business segment. It's back to Annetta.
Thank you for that, Fidelia. I dare to say that investor optimism regarding China-US talks is actually what's fueling this 4th straight day of gain for the Dow, isn't it?
Well, actually, it closed with gains yesterday, and I think with the fact that more people were employed this year, but they are not even able to get their salary at the end of the week as the government is still experiencing a shutdown.
Exactly.
Is really affecting the U.S. economy, and Trump is not pulling back either in his deal or in his desire to have the U.S.-Mexico border wall erected, despite the Congress saying they are not funding this ambition. So it might likely get tougher for the Dow as time progresses. As we can see, the dollar is depreciating to a 3-week low. So this says that it just might get worse for them as time goes by.
Indeed, we are yet to see the end of that. And thanks for that update, Fidelia. So we're going to break now and bring you more after this. Don't go away.
Corruption not in my country. It's about the files your secretary presented to me regarding the company salary. Yes, the figures don't seem to add up. I suspect there's some form of a
discrepancy.
Precisely, sir.
Keep the figures that way.
That's fraudulent, sir.
That's my money.
I'm sorry, sir. I can't do that, sir.
See how padded your chiefs are. Are you telling me you cannot pad up figures?
Sir, padding is against best auditing practices, and it's a form of corruption.
It's true. Accountant.
You were testing. Thank you, sir.
That's it. Macaulay.
Yes, sir.
You are
rather than watch corruption grow under my watch. Padding is a form of corruption and not my country, sir. Corruption not in my country.
Stop corruption now.
2 police and 2 civilians have been killed in the western DR Congo city of Kitwit after police intervened to end protests over the outcome of presidential elections. 10 others were also injured in the clash. The Electoral Commission of the Democratic Republic of Congo, CENI, has declared opposition candidate Felix Tshisekedi the winner of the country's tightly contested presidential vote. The result, which means the first electoral transfer of power in 59 years of independence in the DRC, was, however, received with criticism from other candidates. Martin Fayulu, the runner-up of the election, has dismissed the outcome of the poll, describing it as an electoral coup. Meanwhile, France has also questioned the results of the election. In the United States, President Donald Trump has walked out of a meeting with Democratic leaders as negotiations broke down on the 19th day of a U.S. government shutdown. The Republican president ended talks after Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer struck by their refusal to fund his planned U.S.-Mexico border wall. Trump called his meeting with the pair a total waste of time. Some 800,000 federal workers will go without pay this week for the first time since the shutdown began. And in sports, Sadiq Umar has joined Serie B outfit Perugia on loan until the end of the 2018-19 campaign. The 21-year-old left Rangers in December after struggling to make an impact in Steven Gerrard's team. During his 6-month stay at the Ibrox, Umar managed to make just one league appearance, a 77-minute substitute against St Mirren. And over in England, Manchester City's lopsided win over Burton Albion on Wednesday set a record for English Cup competitions, with Pep Guardiola's high-flying club rolling to a 9-0 win in their first leg of the Carabao Cup semi-final. Gabriel Jesus netted 4 goals at the Etihad Stadium, with Kevin De Bruyne, Oleksandr Zinchenko, Phil Foden, Kyle Walker and Riyad Mahrez all joining him on the score sheet. The 9-goal spread was the largest margin of victory ever for an English Cup semi-final match, dating all the way back to the first ever FA Cup during the 1871 to 1872 season. And that's been news now on TV360 Nigeria. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.